Broadcasting from Manhattan Beach and the World Wide Web, you're listening to CHSR HealthyLife.net.
As a service to our listeners, this program is for general information and entertainment purposes only. CHSR HealthyLife.net does not recommend, endorse, or object to the views, products, or topics expressed or discussed by show hosts or their guests. We suggest you always consult with your own personal, medical, financial, or legal advisor.
Welcome, everybody, to the Nourish Your Soul show. Happy November. I can't believe this year has flown by, and what a year it has been. It's been up, down, and all around, and good, bad, and ugly, I think. I would love to hear what you are feeling out there, and thank you so much for your continued support of our show. We have an amazing guest here today, and I'm very excited. I feel very aligned with a lot of her teachings, and I was introduced through a friend saying you should know about this woman, and I said immediately, yes, I should. So we have Dr. Yafi Yair here. She is quite a powerhouse in the fact that she has done a range of things. She's multi-talented, intuitive, and she does hypnosis and quite an extraordinary energy healer. And I also was really taken back because we share the love themes for Mother Nature and the elements. And of course, here on the Nourish Your Soul show, we talk a lot about earth, air, fire, water, and spirit, and how nature is us and we are nature. And this particular beautiful human being wrote a book called Conversations with Earth. And I'd like to welcome her to the show. Dr. Yafi, welcome, welcome. So glad to have you here.
Hi, Sevante. I'm so happy to be here as well. Thank you.
I really want to just first acknowledge you for, I'm going to just say bravery. And here's why. I'm sure you can relate. I wrote the Food Healing Oracle deck, and now there's a series of them. And I came forward with the notion of channeling food, which is such a unique way of explaining the essence and frequency, the energy of spirit through the food that we put into our temple. And some people are still wrapping their heads around it. And now in 30 countries, other people are embracing it. And then I start reading your book, and you are channeling earth, air, fire, water, spirit, telling us what the wind has to say, what the dolphins have to say, what the whales have to say. And I was like, I can't wait to talk to this amazing human being. So I just wanted to first off just say bravo for just writing a book and expressing the truth as you see it, feel it, hear it, and know it.
Thank you. It's my pleasure, my calling, my joy, and I know you relate.
Absolutely. So let's give people a little bit of a background. They haven't read your book yet, just about how you came into this knowing, because it's really interesting. Some people, when they think or they hear channeling, or connecting with the divine, they're thinking of an archangel, or they're thinking of an ascended master or a deity. And here you are looking at energies and things, and it's so profound. So I'm just can't wait to dive in, and you're really all in for a great show. So let's just find out a little bit background about Dr. Yafi. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm actually a doctor of clinical psychology. That's what the doctor is for. And I thought I was going to have a very clinical, traditional psychology practice. And the more it came time to do my own thing, you know, doctorate is a very, very long process. It's years and years and years of education and practice and working in clinics. And by the time I was about to finish, the doctorate, I really realized that working within the clinical field doesn't have the passion, the excitement, and the openness that I really needed. So I found myself first being attracted to hypnosis, which for me was the marriage of the worlds of spirituality and psychology and wellness.
I've heard that before. It's sort of this gateway.
Yes, because it works with the subconscious. So you go really deep and you help people. Again, there are a lot of clinical work, but there's also Brian Weiss that talks about past life regression. And that opened the whole world of it being spiritual exploration rather than just clinical. And the merging of clinical and spiritual exploration. Because spiritual exploration, of course, when done with the right intention, help wellness and growth. So it's not separate from the clinical field. It's just a matter of slowly the clinical field accepting it. So that was my opening into making my business, quote unquote, more spiritual and more in line with my passion. And I started meditating daily and developing my intuition and my psychic abilities. Eventually that started dripping into my, again, professional practice. Eventually I started offering reading and energy work. And in the last approximately 3 years, I specifically started focusing on channeling, which the way I see it is the extension of doing readings and the intuitive work is just taking it one more step forward.
Did your clients, let's just say that were mainstream, did they adapt with you and start to transition as you kind of brought forward some of these more esoteric principles and practices?
Well, people were generally attracted to me that were very open spiritually because even my website, yes, it mentions that I'm a doctor and that I do therapy and work with teens and kids and adults. But then again, it mentions past life regression and it mentions energy work and it mentions intuitive readings. So people that were very close to it were not attracted to my style to begin with. But that being said, there isn't to be a little bit of separation. So there are some people that come to me more for the clinical work. They're okay with the spiritual stuff. But for example, I work with athletes for peak performance. Mm-hmm. So they're okay with the fact that I'm doing spiritual stuff, but they're not really, that's not their world.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So there is a little bit of separation. And then there are people that discovered me through getting readings and following my channeling. That's what they're passionate and excited about. So there is still a little bit of separation.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you'll win them over. But now would you say that this is primarily the world that you resonate in is channeling and doing that sort of practice?
Yes. Not only channeling, again, energy work, readings in general. I still do hypnosis because, well, I love it. And I'll do anything when people come to me and I feel I can help them, I'll do it. But hypnosis I still consider as one of my main trade. And I don't really separate it from the spiritual work, but the main difference is when we do readings or a channeling session, I'm the vehicle and I bring forth the information. When I do hypnosis, I'm still the bridge. I'm still connecting the energies for you and working energetically with you, but you are the one remembering and going on the journey and experiencing as I guide you. So there's a lot of similarities between the different type of spiritual explorations. Just one is the focus of me doing the journey and sharing it with you verbally. And hypnosis is you are the one journeying and experiencing, and I'm just supporting you in your journey.
We talked off air about the influences of Dolores Cannon, and I knew her many years ago. I got to spend some time with her and her
That's amazing. She's a wonderful woman.
Yeah. Well, Dolores was in a film, a documentary of a friend and colleague, Michael Perlin, did called 3 Magic Words. And we had a big, premiere in London. And then we all spent some time at the Sundance Film Festival together. So I got to really know her, before she passed, and her daughter Julia, and, very fond times. And now I've known many people who've been on the show and just all have referenced her so many times. So I hold a special place in my heart around her teachings. And I love meeting people who bring her work more into the world, well past. She left quite a legacy.
Definitely, yeah. She influenced me greatly, again, both personally and in my work.
Beautiful. Okay, so moving forward into your work. So now I want to transition to how you started to have conversations with the elements, because that to me lit me up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, I did not expect it at all. So I decided during COVID, when the world shut down, the name Lisa Royal Holt kept on popping up. Actually, I think it may have even happened before COVID. That's a little confusing with the timeline. But her name kept on popping up, and a woman that I've never heard of before all of a sudden kept on popping up, and she's a channeler, and she teaches channeling, and she does a lot of contact work and extraterrestrials, which is very exciting, but not something I really dealt with before. Definitely not professionally. So I decided to take her course. And I wrote to her, and of course her course was already full and not really open to the public, and somehow I got in. And that's how I started focusing on channeling. And I threw myself in. She did the training was very long. I think either 6 months or maybe 7 months. It was many months. It was daily of body work, breath work, all this training. And when it comes time to actual channel, I was very surprised with what came through. Like you, I was aware of different entities. My main familiarity with channeling was actually the Seth material. So I knew there was one entity who is a teacher who comes through, and that's what channeling is.
Yeah.
And to my surprise, when specific beings came through, there were beings that I did not expect at all, like Jesus, like Hathor, who I didn't even know who was. I didn't know who Hathor was. So it was, again, another just vague idea.
They introduced themselves to you, or you knew? I mean, it's just such a wide variety of energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the way it happens is when we work with Lisa, she has a tool of cards with different energies that we can channel. Okay. And what she did is she went over the card and only selected the energies that she felt were ready to work with us. And from these cards, we then selected either for ourselves or somebody for us, the energy that we're going to channel. And I would get stuff, like I said, other than Hathor and Jesus, which came repeatedly. It was very weird. Whether I was picking the card, Lisa picked the card for me, or my husband picked the card, I would get the same ones over and over and over again.
Like, we're not done with you yet.
And the first element that came through was fire element. Yeah. And just like you, I didn't really know how to take it. What do you mean channeling fire consciousness?
Yeah.
Is fire an entity? Like, how does that work? And in general, what I found that a part of this journey of channeling is to expand your mind. And a part of this expansion is accepting what can or cannot have consciousness that can communicate with us in that way.
I absolutely love that. And it's such a profound teaching. I have a certification program, and at the end, the final reading is to read me. And I'm always saying to them that when you go and ask a question, they always think it's about a person. I said, but it could be about a business. It could be about an event. It could be about a non-tangible. And that also signifies an opportunity for everyone to realize that we're all energy and it's all one. So that would stand to reason. But when you actually present it as you did in your book, that it was like, wow, that really is so profound. And I will say one of the most profound, you have so many little like, wow, I took notice of that. But when you look at the elements, as you did and I do, you do, and most people look at the tradition of fire being divine masculine, water being divine feminine, and you brought up how elements can be both. And I just thought we could touch on that because that's really important. And I love how you presented it, just so you know.
Thank you.
Isn't it nice to have understood your book?
Yeah. So I'll start, when I first channeled fire, the person that was with me that was asking the question while I was channeling, she was familiar with fire. She felt like she had this relationship with fire and interacted with fire before in her life, and I didn't. So I was lucky that she, in a way, knew even better than me what questions to ask and how to approach the question. So it was interesting. And while channeling, fire actually brought it up, that fire consciousness appreciated the depth of the question and understanding of the questioner, even asking things that me, Yafi, the channeler, couldn't quite wrap my head around.
Yeah.
So I'll start with that point. Now to your point of the feminine masculine, which is very interesting. So yes, fire started by saying that all elements have masculine and feminine within them. However, there are certain elements that are more strongly associated with one or the other. The ultimate example of this is with water, which is very connected to the feminine. Mm-hmm. But generally speaking, they're all masculine and feminine. And with fire, you actually have quite a split depending on the culture and the place in the world. Yeah, depending on the culture and the society. Some societies view fire as completely masculine, while others as completely feminine. Mm-hmm. But fire, the way it presented itself, is that the essence of fire in a consciousness, spiritual aspect, is the cycle of destruction and creation, and you cannot have one without the other. And the destruction part, I guess, would be the masculine part. The creation part would be the feminine part. But of course, they're one of the same. We're separating them, but it's like a circle, like a cycle that continues and continues.
Which makes so much sense, because it's the same thing exactly with water. Like here, we live in Florida. We've seen destruction with hurricanes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very masculine. It's a doing. It's an active energy, where water typically is that receiver and that, mm-hmm. giving to you, and that very softness. So I see that the balance in that too. I just think those concepts, I teach an elements class, and I bet my students are like, mm-hmm. I mean, we're going to talk about this. We're going to be definitely bringing your book into our conversation. Absolutely. In your conversations. But, I just think no one's really kind of spent the time to really understood what they want us to know.
And how much they have to teach us, because we think of it as something so abstract. We don't realize how much specific wisdom and how much applicable wisdom they have to offer. So with fire, again, a lot of it is about the cycle of creation and destruction, but also how it appears in our life and how it appears in humanity as a whole. And go ahead.
No, when you started channeling the elements, fire was your first one?
That's right.
And then did you know that you would be channeling the rest of the elements?
No, I had no idea.
Okay, I'm going to do wind next, or they came.
No, I kept on picking cards. At this point, I was not selecting consciously anyway what I'm going to channel. I kept on using the cards as an aid to direct me what wants to come through me. Mm-hmm. And I was very surprised that when elements came through. So everything in terms of the elements came up spontaneously. What you see later on, for example, in the book, I channel trees. Mm-hmm. So it expands and branches out. Pun intended. Yes. So what were we answering? So yes, it expanded.
I was asking, were you planning on doing all the elements, and did that lead you to the book? But mostly,
no, I had no idea. Yeah, but nature in my life has been so significant. A small example: when I was a little girl, I wrote a book. I didn't publish it or anything, but I wrote it. I wrote a whole story. I illustrated it. And it was about a girl that could communicate with plants and animals. I called it Nature Girl. And it was a whole story. And of course, I didn't realize I was writing about myself, which today is so obvious. But I always felt this connection. I just never applied it. I never thought it could apply in such a, again, physical, practical way into our lives. It was more a fairy tale, disconnected from what we can and do in our lives. So I had no idea that I was going to be channeling earth elements. And, now one of my main main channeled entity is Viola, who is a fairy. So now I have that introduction and entrance into the nature world.
Beautiful. All right. We are going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we are going to have more conversations with about all the elements. And oh my God, now I want to hear about the fairies and gnomes and, carousels and everything. I want to know everything. All right. You're listening to the Nourish Your Soul show with Sevante here with Dr. Yafi. We will be back in a moment.
Escape to the captivating islands of Greece and rediscover your inner self. Join Sevante, host of Nourish Your Soul Show, and UK mystic Angela Aurora Medway-Smith for an unforgettable 8-day journey. Aphrodite Awakened invites you to embrace love like never before. Experience soul-nourishing meditations and pathways to enlightenment. Visit siftofficial.com to learn more. That's CIFTofficial.com. Book now.
You know, when my grandson takes a long car trip, he listens to audiobooks. A long drive seems faster, and sometimes he doesn't want to get out of the car because the book isn't finished. With over 100,000 books, Audible.com is one of the best places to get audiobooks. You can listen to a bestseller anytime, anywhere. Audible.com, your destination for the widest selection of audiobooks. Join millions of listeners. Just go to the Audible.com on HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click.
What if your food can talk? What would it say? Receive Mother Nature's healing wisdom for emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual wellness at CenterForIntuitiveFoodTherapy.com. Feed your chakras, eat in unison with nature's 5 elements, and now receive a complimentary energy activation. To begin your journey, visit CenterForIntuitiveFoodTherapy.com/activation. You'll never look at food the same way again.
Reach your health and fitness goals. Whether you want to lose weight, learn to dance, build muscle, or just live healthy, Beachbody gives you unlimited access to the nation's most popular fitness and weight loss solutions. Visit our advertiser page and click on Beachbody now.
Discover the ultimate path to holistic wellness at DeniseFlood.com. Denise Flood offers a unique layered program for a healthy body, mind, and spirit. Explore pure essential oils, meditation, and tapping techniques to elevate your well-being. Visit DeniseFlood.com today to embark on your transformative journey towards balance and vitality. DeniseFlood.com, your holistic wellness destination.
Hi, I'm Krishnadas, and you're listening to the Nourish Your Soul show,
where positive people and radio unite. HealthyLife.net.
I think I'm fangirling over you because I always have felt kind of like out there on the element world. Like I grew up, I tell people I grew up and I was awestruck with Earth, Wind and Fire, the band, and I just thought they were larger than life and their music and the earth. And so I remember my husband and I, elements was our wedding theme, and we had Earth, Fire. And so that has been, but it's not really a subject people are like, oh, elements. It's not that. So when so to me, I really enjoy this so much because I teach people how to eat according to the elements and how we are feeling fiery and how we can cool things off and what foods will do that. Or we're feeling too much in the wind, the air element, too much confusion in the head. How can we ground and anchor into the Mother Earth? And so I share that with food. So I'm like, what element should we talk about next? So where did you find that you resonated with a particular element more than others? Is there like, wow, I come from that elk? Or is there one that hit you more profoundly than others?
Yes, I would say that water and wind, maybe water the most. And it was surprising to me because I always thought I was more connected to the earth, and I'm an Aquarius, I'm an air sign. But I really, really started connecting to the water, channeling it, for several reasons. So first of all, the essence, the personality of the water, in my experience, channeling, again, was very, very fluid. It was related to the divine feminine. So it was a very feminine energy. And so it was very soft and pleasant and comfortable to be in that space. But of course, like all the elements, the messages were profound. Even a gentle, simple message, like learning to go with the flow and stop controlling things and achieve that higher state of trust so I could go with the flow. It's not a simple teaching to apply in your life. It goes so deep and there's so many layers. So I found the teaching of the water specifically relatable in my life.
Yeah.
And enjoyable at the same time. So profound and doing some deep work, but at the same time enjoyable, because you are doing deep work that then aligns you with more joy, with more fluidity, with more connection. So I really, really enjoyed working with the water and learning about all the wisdom the water has to offer. And all the protection of all the water around us, I discovered that's a very important element of it. So anyone that does spiritual work or psychic work, or doesn't have to be psychic, but in that spiritual realm, being around water can be very significant.
No question. I'm a water sign. I live on an island. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And I also noticed, so there were some messages that were, I'm not going to say concerning, but like pay attention messages you had in there, and I won't say you, that you came through you in the channel
Mm-hmm.
that they wanted to share. So I thought that was really, I paid attention to that as well, is that they, not everything's flowing all the time, and, it's not unicorns and roses and all that
Mm-hmm.
and rainbows, but there was messages that came through you. How did that feel for you to be sharing certain messages that were like, okay, so it's not always going to be perfect here.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, as a person, I think I accept the fact that it's not all rainbows and butterflies, or maybe not. Maybe I still have a hard time with that. And even more so when I channel, having a hard time with that. So it's very difficult for me when I channel to completely let go of the idea that I have a responsibility for my audience, and because when you channel, you really, really have to be in the moment and in the flow and be in a total state of allowance. So I don't interrupt the transmission in any way, that the balance of the flow. And when things that are more difficult come up, like earth calamities and fires and floods, it's difficult for me from the inside to stay in that perfect state of alliance, because I don't want to give bad news to anyone. I don't want to predict anything negative, and they don't see it as negative. It is our humanly perception as seeing fires, for example, as negative. The fire element doesn't see fires on earth as a negative thing, or even the water consciousness or wind consciousness. This is just our small zoomed in perspective. But as a person, yes, it's still somewhat difficult to me, because I don't want to alarm anyone, and they don't see it that way. So there's almost a little bit, not really, we're being hard on them by saying it that way, but almost a lack of sensitivity, because for them it's like, yes, it's all good, but we don't necessarily experience it that way.
Such a profound teaching there, and that you shared that. I always share about like dark nights of the soul and shadow work, that it's all God, all spirit, all perfect, although it may come in as a wham, a boom, a big, huge knock on the door, that all of it's for our highest good and upliftment. And you called it, are you saying that those would be predictions? Because I was like, when I was paying attention, then I was trying to track the dates of when the book came out, and I was just taking notes of like, it was just, I don't know, I just thought the whole thing was really wonderful. At whether people take it that way, but it's an opportunity for you to kind of detach from the humanness. And I think that's maybe that's where you were asking people, or the elements were asking people to kind of neutralize that piece. So I just wanted to acknowledge the spirits for coming through you, because I thought all that was really well done.
Yes, they're acknowledging that these are extreme times of change. And when there's so much changes going on in society and in people's personal life, and again, on a global scale, on all different scales, there are all these changes, it's inevitable for there to be a lot of tension, and a lot of changes can be seen as violent by us humans, because things are happening and we don't like changes.
Well, this island was ground zero for Hurricane Ian. So I look out every day and see like how the elements can really get our attention. But then at the same time, although it's been brutal, there's been some incredible blessings that have come out the other side of these, that was a big trauma for our island. And
Yes. They talk about a lot of things like that it seems that are difficult experiences. Even more recently in our society, we had the coronavirus with the shutdowns, and it was so difficult for society and for, again, people individually to go through all of that. But there's also a lot of good that came out of the shutdowns. People found different ways to connect. People found a way to connect to nature, and that happened to me as well. I've always loved nature, but during COVID, my discovery of how deep my connection was to nature, how important it was to my everyday life, became even more obvious.
Okay, well, when we come back, we will see if possibly Dr. Yafi wants to see if anybody wants to come through and give us a current message that we may want to know for our audience listening here today. Possibly. We'll just cross fingers and toes, enjoy listening to some of our wonderful advertisers, and we will be back in a moment.
Escape to the Costa Rica jungle with Sevante's Nourish Your Soul retreat at the world-renowned Himalaya Institute, February 6th through 11th, 2025. Rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit with 5-star plant-based cuisine, cacao ceremonies, and nature immersion. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime experience. Visit siftofficial.com for details. That's CIFTofficial.com.
Shh. Over here. Here's a secret for a virus-free computer. ESET. They've been a pioneer in the antivirus industry for over 25 years. 25 years of innovative, top-rated antivirus protection. ESET's award-winning security solutions provide a safe online experience for over 100 million home and business computer owners. They are so affordable, fast, and simple to use. So be gone, you blue screen of death. ESET's on my computer. If it's not on yours, visit HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on ESET now.
Escape to the captivating islands of Greece and rediscover your inner self. Join Sevante, host of Nourish Your Soul Show, and UK mystic Angela Aurora Medway-Smith for an unforgettable 8-day journey. Aphrodite Awakened invites you to embrace love like never before. Experience soul-nourishing meditations and pathways to enlightenment. Visit siftofficial.com to learn more. That's CIFTofficial.com. Book now.
Constant Contact and your small business make a perfect fit for marketing. They give you what you need to succeed. Fast and easy email marketing at your fingertips. Visit the HealthyLife.net advertiser page and click on Constant Contact to start your marketing.
What if your food can talk? What would it say? Receive Mother Nature's healing wisdom for emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual wellness at CenterForIntuitiveFoodTherapy.com. Feed your chakras, eat in unison with nature's 5 elements, and now receive a complimentary energy activation. To begin your journey, visit CenterForIntuitiveFoodTherapy.com/activation. You'll never look at food the same way again.
Radio your way. HealthyLife.net.
We are back here having a special moment, not only with Dr. Yafi, who wrote this incredible book, Conversations with the Earth, but we are going to invite Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, whomever wants to come through her to take this moment in time and provide all of us a beautiful, nurturing message as we move our human selves into Thanksgiving and this time on the planet where we're so grateful. And I know I am grateful for Mother Earth and all that she blesses us with.
Blessings. It is so nice to be in your presence. As I am sure you have heard before, names are for humans. However, we are very satisfied with the name Mother Earth, if that is how you would like to refer to us, or the earth element. We will leave it up to you, but we are of the earth, of the mother, and we are here to converse. Feel free to interact with us as you wish.
Okay, thank you. Well, I am just so grateful for this opportunity. Is there any message you would like to share just about the consciousness of food and how we are honoring your gift of bringing food to the planet and allowing people to see the greater consciousness around food?
Yes, here we will say that humans see food as a separate entity from them. However, when we look from our perspective, food, your food that you consume, whether plants or animals, are a part of you, a part of the environment you are a part of. So it is one big ball, the earth, one big ball of life, of living substance that you are a part of. And what you eat, what you consume, is a part of that cycle on a smaller scale. So there are cycles. You could see it as a spiral. And there are larger circles in the spirals and smaller inner circles. So the food that you intake becomes one of the smaller circles in the cycle, a part of the whole system.
Beautiful. Is there any suggestions for longevity and preserving the body temple and creating a place of balance in the body?
Yes. We will say that the answer to this seems obvious to us and will probably seem obvious to many of you. And the answer is that in order to promote wellness and enhance wellness and the balance within the physical body, you should eat foods that are of the earth, food that have come in direct contact with the earth, with nature, and have a direct link as a part of that energy. So you can imagine the earth as being electrified, and having electricity, having this energy. And all the foods that grow from the earth and within the earth and of the earth is a part of that electrical system, a part of that energy. As you intake it, you enforce your electrical signature as a part of that larger system. So all food that are more natural and of the earth will enhance wellness. So then we would advise to stay away from processed foods, as those are more distant from their natural state where they all began.
Beautiful.
So, yes, so eating food that is of the earth, of nature, and having the awareness of that intake, of that dance of energy that is happening when you intake that food, having that awareness with gratitude and with openness will surely guarantee that your food is most nutritious and enhances wellness within the system.
Beautiful. Thank you. I just have one more question. We share a lot about how to bring up the negative ions by putting our feet on the ground. And I just want to learn more about the beautiful energies that we can receive from the Earth's core. So thank you for this.
Yes, exactly. You touched it right on. So this is a part, the negative ion is a part of that electrical system. And when you plant your feet on the ground, if you are in sand, you can even let them sink in so the sand envelops your feet. And it is the same as plugging yourself into the battery of the earth. You are becoming one with that electrical system. So it's not plugging as you're taking away energy of the earth. You are reinforcing your oneness with this beautiful, powerful system. And in that way, energizes your system, and you can ground and relax that way as you naturally fall into your physicalness in the most connected way, which is what grounding is. There are many definitions or ideas what grounding is, but in reality, grounding is connecting to your most physical aspect in the most fluid and natural and balanced way.
Beautiful. Well, we in human time only have about a minute or so left in this time frame. Is there anything you'd like to share in this last minute that you would like us to be aware of?
Yes, I will just mention that this energy is not just electricity. It's not just power. It is the substance of connectedness and of love. This is what you are made of. This is what we are made of. It is the substance of all creation. Our main message would be open your heart to experience your true nature as a spark of the divine, of this beautiful creation on your beautiful planet. And together we can live in harmony and joy.
Thank you. And so it is. So it is. Oh, gratitude.
Gratitude and love will change the world.
We'll be back in a moment.
Discover the ultimate path to holistic wellness at DeniseFlood.com. Denise Flood offers a unique layered program for a healthy body, mind, and spirit. Explore pure essential oils, meditation, and tapping techniques to elevate your well-being. Visit DeniseFlood.com today to embark on your transformative journey towards balance and vitality. DeniseFlood.com, your holistic wellness destination.
Stuff. Where can I contain all of my stuff? How about this? The Container Store, the original storage and organization store. And I found their link on the healthylife.net advertiser page. They have containers for everything, including the kitchen, the bathroom, trash and recycling, traveling, spring cleaning, and dorm rooms. Just about everything you can think of to contain your stuff. The Container Store, right on the healthylife.net advertiser page.
What if your food can talk? What would it say? Receive Mother Nature's healing wisdom for emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual wellness at centerforintuitivefoodtherapy.com. Feed your chakras, eat in unison with nature's 5 elements, and now receive a complimentary energy activation. To begin your journey, visit centerforintuitivefoodtherapy.com/activation. You'll never look at food the same way again.
Get high-quality glasses, sunglasses, and prescription lenses at eyeglasses.com. Choose from over 250,000 items and 400 brands. Already have frames? Get replacement lenses. It's easy. Go to our advertiser page and click eyeglasses.com.
Escape to the Costa Rica jungle with Sevante's Nourish Your Soul retreat at the world-renowned Himalaya Institute, February 6th through 11th, 2025. Rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit with 5-star plant-based cuisine, cacao ceremonies, and nature immersion. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime experience. Visit siftofficial.com for details. That's CIFTofficial.com.
Hi, I'm Krishna Das, and you're listening to the Nourish Your Soul Show.
Radio your way. HealthyLife.net.
and welcome back. I hope you got to be nourished. This is the Nourish Your Soul show, and we were just so beautifully nourished by Mother Earth, or the energy of Earth through Dr. Yafi. Thank you so much for taking that time to do that. Wonderful.
My pleasure.
Yeah, wonderful messages. And we're going to segue a little bit from elements, not really a segue, but a different aspect to bringing in the divine and communicating to the greatness of what we offer, what we've been given. And that is with light language. And it's great. That is a conversation piece that comes up a lot. I have a book coming out next year, and there are a couple people in there who focus on light language. And so I know we only have a few minutes, but I do want to just talk about that. And I do have a few questions. So maybe just share about light language, because, here you become a doctor. I mean, I'm just watching all the things wow, she went from there to there, and now she does this. And
it gets crazier and crazier.
Right?
Yes.
So let's talk about light language for a minute, because that's something you also do.
Yes. So light language, and that took me a little while to get into because it's so open. It's even less left brain than verbal channeling. So light language is expressing the transmission of energy vocally, but not verbally. So it can come through different sounds and vowels, which Hathor, one of my channeled entity, calls field tuning. And it can come through as actual language that is just not the language that we speak. So for me, what I've learned, one of the main entities communicating light language through me is Isis, the goddess from Egypt, Isis. Yeah, which I had no idea that she's connected to light language in any way. But one of the things that I've learned, again, through my practice and my experience, that Isis is very closely related to energy work, energy healing, and also to light language. So I'm learning those two are very, very connected. So light language, as I said, it can be just sound, or it can actually be language and words, but not in your spoken language, not one that you can understand with your left brain. So there has to be a different pathway of receiving that transmission.
I've heard many people speak light language, and it all sounds the same, yet it all sounds different. Is it the same, or is it all different? It's individualized. I mean, it's quite a mystery, isn't it?
It's both. Yes. So there are some instances where you can hear similarities between different people's light language. Yeah. But there are also, like you mentioned, it's very, very different. Not only just like we have different languages that we speak, it's the same with light language. There are different light languages. And not only there are different light languages, it doesn't have to be a language because it's an energetic transmission. So maybe the way it's expressed is vocally. So maybe it will just be in different tones, but the energy transmission will really make it the reason we call it light language. So it can sound, and there's the person's filter. So there's always a practitioner's filter. As much as we strive to be completely clear vessels, even our subconscious has our way of understanding and our own vocabulary of what we can even comprehend. So there's always a personal filter that does affect the transmission to some degree.
Sure. It's just interesting because I have some people who I'll be having a conversation with, and we're talking, and then they channel light language, and then they go back to talking. So, for me, when I go into channeling, I have to go into my space, and so staying present at the same time you're doing light language, I think that's fascinating to be able to kind of go back and forth. And this is just an observation. I'm not saying that it's a standard, but I notice that the majority of spiritual beings who are who speak light language are younger, like the millennials or the youngers. I don't really see the older generation, my generation on older, speaking light language. It just feels like that's like a newer energy. Is that what your experience is? And if so, why?
From my experience, so I actually know older light language practitioner because this is the circle that I channel in terms of practitioners, not recipients. However, the whole concept of light language is becoming newly found and newly popular. And as a result, a lot of young people are discovering it. And it's wonderful because it can be easier than channeling verbally, because then you don't have to worry about what words you're saying and what the information. You can just be in the flow, in that flow that does not include your analytical left brain analyzing everything. So there is a great advantage of that. So when I teach light language, which is one of the courses I love teaching the most, I see it as channeling. I see it as me teaching channeling. So I teach you to be in the flow and stay in that state of flow, and at the same time express it vocally. So you're learning how to be in the flow, and you're also learning how to use your voice and be comfortable with your voice. So these two elements put together, in my opinion, is light language, and it's almost like a precursor or a beginner's channeling, an opportunity to learn to be in that flow, in that spiritual energy without worrying about what's coming through.
Beautiful. Well, I wish I had 10 more segments to spend with you, and hopefully we can have you back on another time.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So in the next, we just really have a minute left, and I would just love people to know more about you, how they can spend time. I will be putting the links up to how they can get your book, Conversations with the Earth. Just give them a little bit more info on you, and I'll make sure we let everyone know how to. Well, you tell them first.
Okay, absolutely. So my website is yafichanneling.com. And like Sevante mentioned, she will have the links. And there you can find a way to get in touch with me. You can buy my book. You can buy the Archangel board. So you can definitely do all of that on the website. I offer both individual and group sessions. In terms of the channeling, we currently meet every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Zoom. So you can get in touch with me and join the group. We have a wonderful group. I channel every week, either Hathor or Viola. Those have been the most common channeled beings. And people ask questions. So through my website is probably the best way to get in touch with me.
And Yafi is Y-A-F-I, just for those.
That's right.
Okay, great. Well, it was absolutely a pleasure having you here on the Nourish Your Soul show, and I thank you so much. I know that my community who love the elements are just going to so appreciate your work. And really, for all of us who live here, we should be honoring this beautiful blue ball that we live on. And now we can get greater insight into how to navigate some of these waters, thanks to you. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much.
All right. Be safe out there, and we will talk to you soon. God bless.
Escape to the Costa Rica jungle with Sevante's Nourish Your Soul retreat at the world-renowned Himalaya Institute, February 6th through 11th, 2025. Rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit with 5-star plant-based cuisine, cacao ceremonies, and nature immersion. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime experience. Visit siftofficial.com for details. That's CIFTofficial.com.
If you're looking for unique items at affordable prices, then you should try Dream Product. From apparel to beauty, from shoes to therapeutic relief products, visit HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on Dream Products, and maybe your dreams might just come into reality.
Escape to the captivating islands of Greece and rediscover your inner self. Join Sevante, host of Nourish Your Soul show, and UK mystic Angela Aurora Medway-Smith for an unforgettable 8-day journey. Aphrodite Awakened invites you to embrace love like never before. Experience soul-nourishing meditations and pathways to enlightenment. Visit siftofficial.com to learn more. That's CIFTofficial.com. Book now.
Crystal Travel has a vast selection of flights and other travel options at the best industry prices. Visit the healthylife.net advertiser page and click on Crystal Travel to get your best travel deal now.
What if your food can talk? What would it say? Receive Mother Nature's healing wisdom for emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual wellness at centerforintuitivefoodtherapy.com. Feed your chakras, eat in unison with nature's 5 elements, and now receive a complimentary energy activation. To begin your journey, visit centerforintuitivefoodtherapy.com/activation. You'll never look at food the same way again.
Radio your way. HealthyLife.net.